Welcome to week 2 of the Shango Diaries, written by Madison.
I'm Sarah.
I'm John.
Ooh, things are heating up.
I know, right? And I have to say I'm already hooked on these two. So to refresh our memories, last week ended with Monica and Shango's electric first encounter at Jack's Soul Food. Remember all that hand-holding and playful banter?
Yes, the chemistry was undeniable, but Monica, ever the cautious one, dashed out before things could get too steamy.
She definitely left Shango wanting more. But then he sent her that intriguing email, remember? The one where he admitted his mistakes from the night before? It definitely piqued my curiosity.
Well, it seems those mistakes didn't deter Monica, because week 2 kicks off with them diving headfirst into a whirlwind email romance.
And let me tell you, Shango's emails are something else. They're bold, passionate, and, well, let's just say they're not for the faint of heart.
It's fascinating how their personalities shine through their writing styles. Shango's emails are filled with playful, teasing, bold declarations of desire and a healthy dose of romantic poetry.
He's definitely not afraid to express himself. And Monica, while more reserved, clearly enjoys the attention. Her responses, though more measured, hint at a growing attraction.
There's a definite push and pull dynamic. It's almost like a dance with each email, bringing them closer, then pulling back slightly.
And some of Shango's lines are, well, quite memorable.
Hmm.
For example, he writes, "My woman, my baby. Finish your flow, find some sexy heels in the back of your closet, and let's see who gets to represent that wow factor to the max."
Wow, he's definitely setting the mood, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's clear he's trying to sweep Monica off her feet, figuratively speaking, of course.
And there's that other line about replacing her nails with something, well, let's just say it was very descriptive. It makes you wonder how Monica handles his intensity.
Well, Monica, being the practical one, confides in her best friend Todd. Their email exchanges reveal her initial hesitation and reliance on Todd's advice as she navigates this new intense connection with Shango.
Todd seems like a great friend, level-headed and supportive. What kind of advice is he giving her?
Todd encourages her to take things slow and watch for any red flags. It seems he's a bit skeptical of Shango's whirlwind approach, advising Monica to guard her heart and avoid unnecessary drama.
Wise words indeed. But Shango doesn't seem like the take it slow kind of guy, does he? Especially when he starts talking about 5-year plans.
You're right. Monica, perhaps testing the waters, asks Shango about his 5-year plan. His response is detailed, ambitious, and, dare I say, a bit overwhelming. He envisions a child, a move to the suburbs, a thriving business, and, of course, Monica by his side.
It's almost like he's painting this idyllic picture of their future together. But does Monica share this vision?
Well, in response to Shango's grand plans, Monica lays out her own list of what it means to be really ready for a relationship. And her focus is much more grounded in the present sex loyalty and honesty.
It's like she's gently reminding Shango that she's not rushing into anything. She wants to build a solid foundation based on trust and intimacy.
Absolutely. And this difference in their perspectives, their views on pacing and commitment, is already creating some friction between them.
So even amidst all the romantic emails and flirty banter, there are some underlying tensions emerging. It makes you wonder if their personalities are ultimately compatible.
Exactly. And one of the first real bumps in the road comes when Shango makes a comment about Monica being scared to show affection at work. It's a playful jab, but Monica doesn't take it lightly.
I can imagine that might have stung a bit. How does she respond?
Well, Monica fires back, asserting her independence and making it clear that she's not afraid of anything, least of all showing affection. She even reveals that she's cleared the field, so to speak, ending things with other potential suitors.
Wow, that's a powerful statement. She's basically putting all her eggs in one basket, showing Shango that she's fully committed to exploring their connection.
It's a bold move, and it shows just how much Shango has impacted her, but at the same time, she's not letting him dictate the pace of their relationship.
So we have these two strong-willed individuals, both with clear desires, navigating this intense, burgeoning connection. It sounds like a recipe for some serious fireworks. But before we get to the explosion, let's meet the people surrounding these two lovebirds. What do we know about Shango's social circle?
Shango mentions several close friends. Leah, a sister-like friend in LA, Larry, his best friend, and a network of friends sprinkled across LA, DC, and NYC.
It sounds like he has a strong support system, people he can turn to for advice and guidance.
Yes, and his friends seem to play a significant role in his life. And what about Monica's world? Who are the key players in her life?
Fill me in.
Well, Monica's inner circle is equally important to her. She mentions God, her sons, Kyle and Jordan Todd, of course her sister Mia, and a close friend named Malika. It's clear that her faith, family, and friendships are the pillars of her life.
It's interesting how both Monica and Shango have these rich, fulfilling lives outside of their romantic pursuits. It adds depth to their characters and makes their connection even more intriguing.
And as their relationship progresses, these external relationships will likely play a crucial role in shaping their decisions and actions.
So as week 2 unfolds, where do we find these two lovebirds? Are they finally going to take the plunge?
Well, Shango Ever, the romantic, invites Monica to his friend's art show in Mount Vernon, suggesting she bring Todd along for a post-show meet and greet.
Ooh, that's a big step. Meeting the friends, especially Todd, is a sign that Shango's starting to see Monica as more than just a fling.
It definitely signals a deepening of their connection, and just before the weekends, they finally spend their first night together, albeit at Shango's place. He describes it as an evening of snuggling and anticipation for what's to come.
Intriguing. I'm on the edge of my seat. Details, please.
Yeah,
What exactly happened during their first night together?
we'll have to save those juicy details for part two, but let's just say by the end of week two, they've crossed a significant line and there's no turning back.
I can't wait to hear more.
Don't worry, the drama, the romance, the tension, it's all just beginning.
Are you ready to wear your inspiration and sip on positivity? BeGoodCollection.com is all about spreading kindness and promoting good vibes one hoodie, t-shirt, mug, and journal at a time. Whether you're looking for the perfect gift to inspire someone you love or something to keep your own spirit lifted, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. Every purchase supports the fight against bullying, so you're making a difference while looking and feeling amazing. Head over to BeGoodCollection.com today to check out their latest collections and join the mission to spread kindness everywhere. All right, let's get back to the program and keep the good vibes going.
Welcome back. So we left off with Monica at Shango's place. Did they finally give in to all that pent-up passion?
Well, not exactly. Remember, Monica is committed to taking things slowly, and Shango, despite his more impulsive nature, is trying to respect her boundaries.
So a night of snuggling and anticipation. You said, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Okay, picture this. Monica arrives at Shango's Brooklyn brownstone after a long day at work. He greets her warmly, having prepared a delicious meal.
Shango can cook. That's definitely a point in his favor.
Apparently so. He even mentions wanting to spoil her with home-cooked meals and breakfast in bed. But back to their evening. As they settle in, Monica, exhausted from her day, drifts off to sleep.
Wait, she falls asleep. That's not exactly the romantic evening I had in mind.
But that's what's so interesting about their dynamic. Instead of waking her, Shango lets her sleep peacefully. He even teases her in an email the next morning about her snoring.
Oh, Shango. I see that playful side of him is still going strong. But it sounds like there's a tenderness beneath those jokes.
Absolutely. He could have easily taken advantage of the situation, but he chose to respect her need for rest. That speaks volumes about his character, don't you think?
It does. And Monica, despite her initial hesitation, seems to be falling for him too. She admits in an email that she's never felt so comfortable with anyone before.
That vulnerability is so beautiful, isn't it? They're both starting to let their guard down and reveal their true selves to each other.
And it's in those moments of vulnerability that their connection deepens, wouldn't you say?
Exactly. As we move deeper into week two, we see them grappling with those deeper questions of compatibility, commitment, and what it truly means to be ready for a relationship. They're both coming from different places with different experiences and expectations.
It's like they're navigating uncharted territory, trying to figure out if their paths align. What are some of the challenges they're facing?
Well, Monica expresses some concerns about Shango's past relationships. She wants to know if he's truly moved on and capable of being fully committed to her. It's a valid question, especially given his reputation for being a bit of a charmer.
It sounds like she's trying to protect her heart, which is understandable. How does Shingongo respond to her concerns?
Shango, to his credit, is honest with her about his history. He explains that he values staying friends with his exes, but makes it clear that he's ready for something new, something deeper.
So he passes the ex-girlfriend test, so to speak. What other topics are they exploring?
They delve into their family histories, their relationships with their mothers, their hopes and dreams for the future. It's like they're peeling back the layers, revealing their vulnerabilities and insecurities along with their strengths.
It's amazing how quickly they've gone from flirty banter to these deeply personal conversations. It shows a real desire to connect on a deeper level.
And even though they're growing closer, there are still moments of self-doubt. Monica, in a particularly vulnerable moment, questions whether she's good enough for Shango. She even asks him what his reaction would be if he decided things weren't going to work out.
Wow, she's really putting herself out there, risking rejection. That takes courage.
It does. And Shango, to his credit, responds with empathy and reassurance. He tells her that he's falling for her too and that he sees something special in their connection.
So despite their differences, their insecurities, and their occasional clashes, there's a genuine spark between them. It makes you want to root for them to see if they can make it work.
But as we know, the path to true love is rarely smooth. There are still challenges ahead. Obstacles they'll need to overcome if their relationship is to survive.
What kind of obstacles?
Yeah.
Give me a hint.
Well, let's just say their whirlwind romance is about to face some real-world tests. The kind that involve friends, families, and those pesky little things called expectations.
Ooh, I can't wait to see how they handle it. But I have a feeling these two are up for the challenge.
I think you might be right, but we'll have to wait for part 3 to see how it all unfolds.
Welcome back to the Shango Diaries. Last time things were starting to get pretty serious between Monica and Shango,
Right.
but you hinted at some potential roadblocks ahead.
Hmm.
I'm curious to see how they handle it.
Well, their differing communication styles and expectations really come to the forefront in this final week. Remember how Monica was hesitant to introduce Shango to her inner circle? That protective instinct is about to kick into overdrive.
So does Shango do something to set off her alarm bells?
Not necessarily something intentional. It's more about how their different approaches to relationships clash. Monica prefers a slow, deliberate pace, while Shango tends to be more impulsive and direct.
A classic clash of personalities. I can see how that could create some tension.
Exactly. And we see this play out when Monica calls Shango out on that comment he made about her being scared to show affection at work. Remember how he kind of teased her about it?
Oh yeah, I bet she didn't let that slide.
She definitely didn't. Monica asserts herself, letting Shango know that his assumptions were off base. It's a pivotal moment because it shows that she's not afraid to stand up for herself and set boundaries.
Good for her. It sounds like she's realizing her own worth and refusing to be pressured into anything she's not comfortable with. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what's remarkable is how Shango responds. He doesn't get defensive or dismissive. Instead, he apologizes and acknowledges that he's still working through some of his own baggage from past relationships.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
It takes a certain level of maturity to admit when you're wrong and to recognize that your past experiences can influence your behavior.
It does. And this leads to one of the most honest and vulnerable conversations they've had so far. They actually lay their expectations and boundaries out on the table.
So a real turning point for their relationship. Are they able to find common ground?
They are. They agreed to take things slow, focusing on building trust and emotional intimacy before rushing into anything physical.
It sounds like Monica is setting a strong precedent for how she wants to be treated.
You're right. But don't think that Shango has completely given up. He's still pursuing her, just in a more patient and respectful way.
Of course, it wouldn't be the Shango Diaries without a little bit of drama, right? So what does he do next?
Well, remember the art show in Vernon that Shango invited Monica to? He suggests she bring Todd along to meet him afterwards.
Oh, wow. Talk about putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
He's basically letting Monica's best friend vet him. That's a big step, especially for someone like Shango.
It really is. And Monica, although initially hesitant, agrees. She seems to be recognizing that their connection has potential, and she's willing to take a chance.
That's a huge leap of faith, especially considering how cautious she's been so far.
It definitely shows a shift in their dynamic. They're moving from the world of emails and phone calls to real-life interactions with people who are important to them.
I can't wait to hear what happens when Shango and Todd finally meet. Will they hit it off, or will there be some tension?
That's a great question, and it's one we'll have to ponder until next week's installment of the Shango Diaries. So, as we wrap up week 2, what are the key takeaways here? What have we learned about Monica and Shango?
Well,
I think the biggest takeaway is the importance of open and honest communication. Monica and Shango, despite their different personalities and occasional missteps, are making a real effort to understand each other's needs and expectations.
they're definitely not afraid to have difficult conversations, which is so important in any relationship.
Absolutely. And it's that willingness to be vulnerable and to communicate their desires and boundaries that has allowed their connection to deepen. And let's not forget the importance of their support systems. Both Monica and Shango have close friends and family who are offering guidance and perspective along the way.
It's like they're each bringing their own team to the table, which can either help or hinder their connection. It'll be interesting to see how their families and friends react to this whirlwind romance.
Yes, and as we move into week 3, I think that's what we should be paying attention to. How their relationship dynamics play out in the real world with the added layers of friends, family, and societal expectations.
So many questions, so much anticipation. I can't wait to see what happens next. I have a feeling this is only the beginning of their love story.
I think you might be right. Until next time, happy reading.